robbed of 2 clear penalties, but I'm not going to sit here and talk about the ref because everyone already knows that those were penalties. However, we are going to look at our match, how Kaizer Chiefs played, what they did well and what they did not do. So let's look at the starting lineup of Kaizer Chiefs. So immediately we see that Riff Rosler is back at right back, and I'm like, yeah, great. That tells me that Ntsegi is approaching this game with the mindset of wanting to win and not being super defensive. He keeps his midfield, he keeps his backline as it is, and he brings back Peterson. Up front, Potsane comes back. The comeback of Potsane did not really prove effective for 2 reasons. The first one is the fact that Potsane coming back meant Dupree was playing as a 9. And when Dupree plays as a 9, if you play Dupree as a 6, as a 5, as a goalkeeper, he's always going to give you something. So he did try to do everything that he could to get the team forward. He fights all the time. But the problem is, Dupree is not a number 9. Dupree is not a person that you are going to put and have him play with his back opposite to the goal. You want Dupree to play the ball being in front of him and the goal being there. Not this thing of having to get the ball. And then you are being marked by Lebusa. Lebusa, who's very strong and very tall. So for me, that change did not make any sense. And I know that Gonzalez comes in second half. He doesn't make much of a difference. But still, in me, I still feel like you do not play Dupree as a number 9. And it also signaled to me that we are trying to catch Sundowns on counters with our pace up front, which happened, but then they were dealing with it because, as I said in the match preview, that Sundowns were expecting us to come out guns blazing and try to hit them on counters, which did not work because even the goal that we got it from a penalty. I will say though that the team at times, they did show more bravery on the ball, keeping the ball even in our box, like passing the ball around, which is something that we haven't done against Sundowns. So that is good. Let's go back to our defenders. As far as we were concerned, Dove was not fit to play an entire game, to which Vele, we would have asked, why was he not given some minutes during the week to get him ready for this game? But as far as we knew, Dove didn't play because, well, he was still injured. So the selection of Hlant in that sense was justified because Dove was still injured. Let's move on to the key moments, obviously, with the goals. If you look at the goal, the first goal, Peterson is at fault. Like, I can sit here and try and defend him. No, he's at fault. Unfortunately for him, they are piling up and they're becoming way too many. I hope for his sake that he picks up form from here on, because he's not going to get dropped. For those of you who think Peterson is going to get dropped, it's not going to happen. I also hope that you can subscribe to the channel, leave a like so that YouTube can spread this video to more people like you. And let's talk about the other player who obviously drank us, which is Usfiso Hlant. Hlant does not compete in the air, yet he's a defender. In that case, he was just tracking back, and it wasn't his fault alone. I will also talk about the other players in a moment. He's not there, he's not jumping like quick enough to close down the header from Shalulil. And to even show you how easy it was for Shalulil, he just did this. Like, I was sitting behind goal and he was like this. I see the net moving. I'm like, how? He scored. And the way he was so casual, that's because there was no pressure on him at all. The other players who were responsible for that is Umatlo, actually. And Frosler himself is responsible for this. The ball is played, and then the boy, I think it was Rivero, gets the ball, he goes across. Frosler goes down. He tackles. The ball ricochets and it goes back to Ribeiro. And Ribeiro now is the only one standing because Frosler decided to make a tackle. And then he chips the ball, and then Shalulile heads at the back post. The second person, though, is Matlo. If you look at that clip, Matlo is tracking back and was the closest to Ribeiro. But when Frosler gets to the ball and tackles, Matlo stops running. But what do we do when there's a player wide who is a very skillful player? We double up on them. Because if he had gone across, then when Ribeiro was coming up, when they were both down, Frosler and Ribeiro, then Matlo would have been able to clear that ball, but he stopped running, which is the same thing that I've seen our players doing a lot of times, that one player is marking and the other one is not assisting. Even in our press, that's what we do. One player is pressing, but the rest of the team are not pressing. I'm not saying, obviously, but I'm saying, yes, Uhlant, ultimately, you look at him and you're like, he could have done better. But that move could have been dealt with by 3 people, and all of them, in my case, they are sort of responsible. But most importantly, the whole team is also responsible for that. Because we consider goal in the first few seconds. We also consider goal in the last few seconds. Critical moments of the game, and that's where you switch off. That's not good enough playing for Kaizer Chiefs, playing for any team. I still don't understand for the life of me why playing against Sundowns, a team that has 4 people in midfield, they can make it 5, they can make it 6. They like overloading the midfield. You take Castillo, who's not a very quick player, and you play him as a winger because that's what he was doing. He was giving so much width. He was going so wide that when he got the ball, now he has to get the ball and try to run at a very quick Sundowns fullback. And Castillo wasn't in the game at all because of that. Because this thing of having him start wide doesn't help you. And then when you see that he's less effective, fine. Okay, it's not working to put Castillo wide. Take him out on the 60th minute. He's been a good player, but he's not effective. It's either you put him back in midfield or you take someone who can play wide. Bring on him to Tuzi Shabalala. He can play wide. And the other thing, obviously, that worries me about the coach is, when are you making the subs? How are we losing 2-1? We need a goal. We need a goal against Sundowns. And you are not making subs. And even Sundowns, they see that, okay, now we're coming back into the game. Midfield yet is starting to function. And then what do? You wait until the last 10 minutes to make the subs. If there is anything to be said about Nsege in this game, is that he can have a setup, even since starting to coach Chiefs. He can have a setup in the first half. But come second half, when you have to make the necessary adjustments in the game, because the game is not played with starting 11s. Any one of you who's watching right now, thousands of Kaizer Chiefs fans watching this channel, you can pick your best 11. But that does not mean you can coach that 11 that you picked. You can pick a system, but that does not mean you can continue to coach that team in the game. How do you outsmart the other coach? Because that's now the chess game that is being played in professional football. That you are going to show me yours and I will show you mine. But how do you deal with me showing you mine? And that's when Tseg has struggled a lot. With the setup, with playing the ball and rotating. Yeah, we see that. But now, are you able to outsmart the other coaches? And the answer so far has been no. Because if it has been yes, then we would have been scoring goals and still playing the football that we are playing. Yes, people are going to say Pantseg Mpilo is new. I will say go to Tottenham Hotspurs, a team that was completely collapsing last season. The beautiful football you can already see, and it's getting results. It's his first season with a squad that was seen as dead last season. He's using that very same squad without Hurricane, and they are winning games. What does it come down to? Coaching. I've watched Liverpool this game. I'm a Liverpool fan. Go down in so many games, be 1 goal behind. They come back, they win those games. Why? Because the coach sees what's wrong in the team and then they make right changes. What did you think of the game? Let me know down on the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelumoy.